today is about yourself, so you may just be yourself.
Your question should be, can you sing? You know.
You sing. I believe you can.
You sure or not?
Sure.
There could be another reason why they won't invite you back to be in a committee again. Jaren invited not only a bad speaker, the bad speaker sang badly and blame everything on Jaren. Yeah.
It's okay. I have strong faith and I really believe today's session, whoever's managed to come online will benefit from a session, and then whoever who
you know I'm very cheeky on, you know I when I teach in the university, sometimes I go and I teach adult class, right? So I sit among them, then I told them, I heard today's lecturer very bad. It's gonna be a boring time. Then after that, when the class started, I go in front and start teaching, you know.
but the students love it, right? Then they don't leave until your session finish.
So far they haven't. If they do, I will insult them. If they won't go to the toilet, I got standard way of insulting them as well.
All don't dare to go toilet.
Oh, they not go toilet. Yeah.
Glue their butts to the
When they come in the toilet, when they go to the toilet, I get a class to play a trick on them. So when they come back, I was a class. The idea I just shared with you, will it help you make millions of dollars? Then the whole class will say yes. And we say, we share with anybody? No. What about people who go to the toilet? No.
Okay, I got it. So they feel that they missed out something lah.
Yeah, I'm kidding. First thing I do is I write on the board all the nonsense, the sun rise from the west, 1 + 1 = 3. Then I turn around and say that next time when you see me write nonsense, talk nonsense, please raise your hand and ask me a question and challenge me.
Do they actually challenge you?
Oh, I used to work for a company called Gartner. And I love the Gartner culture because every week we have 1 or 2 lunch session is work and eat lah. And then somebody will go and present, and then the rest will go and tear him down, for fun, for not just for fun, to help you think through more carefully,
Okay.
And it's quite brutal one. No absolute brutal honesty on, yeah. But because of this, all of us learn how to really do proper research, learn how to think on the feet, learn how to respond to challenges and all that.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. Let's keep that for your sharing. Now we are live. I will so Regina, I will start off by sharing the intro video, and then I will invite Dr. Patrick, and then maybe when
I introduce me also.
Yeah, then I'll introduce Dr. Patrick. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, introduce, we'll just share the slides.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm Jonathan Ortmans, and I'm with Global Entrepreneurship Week. Global Entrepreneurship Week is challenging to understand in some respects because it's 35,000 events happening at the same time in 125 different countries. Global Entrepreneurship Week offers you the opportunity to come and test your aptitude. Join a networking event. Come and meet a mentor. Come and experience a boot camp. Come and experience some other element of the startup community in your city, in your town, and learn about whether or not at some point in your life you may have the interest and the skill to be able to join a startup. And I think this has been effective in allowing people to feel that they're not only driving more of their fellow citizens to consider the path of entrepreneurship in their own countries, but they're learning and participating with people from other nations. It's really in the hearts and the minds of the individuals in each of these countries. There's a way that now we think entrepreneurs might be the force for change in their countries for things beyond just economic change, that they can actually make the world a better place. The field of entrepreneurship is no longer something of narrow commercial significance. It's something of more cultural consequence. It's something that represents the possibility of human endeavor for the benefit of all. The globalization of startup communities actually gives the world a much better chance at solving some of the intractable challenges of the decades past. So in a sense, we see more citizens trying their hand at helping the world innovate its way out of its challenges. The world needs more entrepreneurs. It's a question of inspiring more people to recognize that it's more important to the future of their societies than they previously recognized. Global Entrepreneurship Week is an idea bigger than all of the communities that make it up, and it represents something that we can all aspire to, which is to be part of one global community of people ferreting out better ways of doing things and improving the lives of our citizens.
Well, hello, everybody. This Global Entrepreneurship Week, I wanted to take a moment to share a message of hope and encouragement. Entrepreneurs are the dreamers, the doers, and risk takers that have the opportunity to transform society for the better. I didn't even know that I was an entrepreneur when I started Virgin. The word wasn't really used back then. I was a young man with big dreams of creating businesses that solved problems and helped improve people's lives. When I first learned the word, I had to ask how to pronounce it. French was never my strong point. Everyone has the potential to become an entrepreneur and to create positive change in their communities. I'm proud to support the Global Entrepreneurship Network, a charity with a mission to make it possible for anyone, anywhere, to start or scale a business. They want to unearth a new generation of entrepreneurs to help figure out better ways of doing things, to create jobs and new opportunities in the wake of the pandemic. So if you've ever wanted to start a business, head over to the Global Entrepreneurship Network and check out all the great resources they have available. Cheers.
Hello, everyone, and happy Global Entrepreneurship Week. This is one of my favorite times of the year because it's so inspiring to think about people from all over the world, from all walks of life, coming together to celebrate the power of owning one's own future through entrepreneurship. At the Kauffman Foundation, we're working every day to build inclusive prosperity through a prepared workforce and through entrepreneur-focused economic development. Global Entrepreneurship Week and all of our work at the Kauffman Foundation is grounded in the principles and aspirations of our founder, Ewing Kauffman, who's a great entrepreneur himself. He believed that everyone deserves a shot at success, regardless of race or background. He believed that we can change people's lives by tackling root causes and changing systems, not just treating symptoms. He believed that education could help people to reach their full potential, and that racialized barriers shouldn't prevent people from starting and growing a business. And he believed that common people just like himself could do uncommon things to create a better future. There are millions of common, regular people on this earth who are doing uncommon things, often despite significant barriers, to make their communities and their countries better, healthier, and more prosperous. And we're going to need them to keep doing that, now more than ever. I've had the privilege of working with Global Entrepreneurship Week, or GEW as we call it, from the very beginning. We started GEW so that anyone with an idea could work to make that a reality, so that more people could own their own destinies by starting a business, growing that business, and then ultimately giving back to their community. With a backdrop of a global pandemic and continuing systemic barriers, GEW is a powerful platform to listen, to engage, and to work together to create the kind of change that everyone, despite the color of their skin, their income, or where they live, can thrive. So from all of us at the Kauffman Foundation, thank you for being a part of this global entrepreneurial movement that is now more than 10 years strong. Here's to the makers, doers, and dreamers in your community, your country, and in our world.
All right. Thank you. So there was an introduction of Global Entrepreneurship Week. It's run by Global Entrepreneurship Network based in the US since the year 2008. It's been more than 10 years now. And the first GEW event in Singapore had about 18,000 participants across the whole week of events. Now, we this year is the first year we're doing everything virtually. So we are actually having a ASEAN edition where our colleagues across Southeast Asia are also running their events, and we are supporting each other through these virtual Zoom sessions. Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Patrick. Regina, do you mind sharing the slides? Okay, I'll do it. All right. So today our session is on scaling your business from startup to IPO. So we have with us Dr. Patrick Liu. He's an award-winning entrepreneur, humanitarian philanthropist, doctorate degree in education in both University of Southern California. His dissertation revolves around financial intelligence, one of the most successful entrepreneurs and investors that has helped to list more than 3 companies on 3 stock exchanges. SGX, AXX, NYSE, and in 3 different countries. Involved in many charity causes, works, won numerous awards for his good work, international business awards, including the Global Leader Award, Asia Pacific Entrepreneurship Award, the Entrepreneur of the Year Award for his social contributions. All right, so I'd like to invite Dr. Patrick.
Hey, thank you very much for the very, very kind introduction. Thank you very much for giving me the honor to join 18,000 of all of you all over the world and our counterparts in Singapore as well as around the region. It's amazing to be part of this amazing movement that have been going on for more than 10 years now. Now, before I begin, maybe I would like to put on my slide first. And while we are getting the slide ready, maybe I can quickly share with everybody my life story. I don't know about you. I was born in a very poor family. I grew up among the poorest of the poor. Can you imagine when I was growing up, I had no new books, no new toys, no new clothing. I don't even have a bed until I was 21 years old. So for the first 21 years of my life, I get to sleep underneath my grandmother's bed. So if you look at my face, you'll find there's a bit flat because of oversleeping underneath my grandmother's bed. So at a very young age, I always wanted to be a social worker. Why? Because I want to help more poor people like me and my family. And just to prove to you how serious I was, I actually applied to be an intern, to be an apprentice, to learn from a charity organization in Hong Kong. And this charity organization rented a small little office space at the old YMCA building. So during the day, I'll learn how to be a charity worker. In the evening, I will clean one of the tabletops or sleep on one of the tabletops because my father couldn't afford to put me up in a dormitory. And every morning, I will climb a hill opposite the old YMCA building. And at the top of the hill, I'll pray, I'll plan, I'll prepare myself to be a social worker. When I came back, I decided to go and work first because my friends say, how can you be a social worker? You have no real life experience. You must go out there and then go through some pain and sorrow, earn your straps and scars. Then you can qualify to be a very good social worker. So off I went. I was very, very blessed. I started my life as an office boy. An office boy is likened to a football. He's being kicked around to do everything and anything. And I was promoted almost every year of my working life. And then in the end, I became the CEO of a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company. Then I started my own company. And again, I was very, very blessed because most people have never listed one company in their lifetime. I've helped to list more than 3 companies in my lifetime. The first company in New York Stock Exchange, the second company in Australian Securities Exchange, and the last company in Singapore Exchange. And along the way, my team and I, we started more than 6 different charities. Today, our charities, we train 20,000 students free of charge every year. We reach out to 3,500 elderly, and then we run a center that provide charity services to migrant workers. There are 258,400 migrant workers in our country. And every time when there's a natural crisis, and in recent time we have many natural crises, my team and I will do something to help the victims of this crisis. In 2013, I was very, very blessed because a very rich man offered to buy over my publicly listed company. We used to have more than 10,000 people working out from the same building. And around the same time, I was invited to speak in a CEO conference in Hong Kong. So they flew me up to Hong Kong. They checked me in the hotel room. When I was in the hotel room, I drew the curtain. After I drew the curtain, I looked out of the window. I saw a hill opposite the window. And that hill looks very, very familiar. I had goosebumps all over my body. So I quickly called the receptionist. I said, what was this hotel known as before it became a hotel? And the receptionist told me casually, this used to be known as the YMCA building. That evening in the hotel room, I went on my knees and I cried. I cried like I've never cried before because all my life I wanted to be a social worker, but I never quite found the opening to become a professional social worker. But when I thought I've come to the end of my entrepreneurial and investment journey, I realized I've always been somewhat of a social worker. And let me quickly explain to you why. If I've been a professional social worker, I probably could have touched one person's life at a time, one community at a time, one family at a time. But when I became an entrepreneur, when I became an investor, I could literally touch thousands of people's lives all over the world. And that's the reason why today I teach in a university. I teach 2 master's degree program for working adults. I teach an entrepreneurship program on an MBA level. I teach working adults how to start, run, and grow a business. And then I teach another master's degree program. I teach working adults on how to run a charity organization. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this. Let me get my slide working. I can't seem to move my slide now. Yeah. Okay, and the reason why I'm sharing you this is because, you know, when I trace back to that moment when I was in a hotel room, and by the way, you can see in the picture right now, this is the new YMCA, and that was the hill I climbed 40 over years ago every morning, praying, hoping, preparing myself, you know, to be a good social worker. You know, we all know that the world is in a pathetic state. And we need what I call the 4th key to be able to change the world right side, upside down or right side up. We need university, but university primarily focus on cultivating primary knowledge. We need the government, but government, politicians depend on popular votes. We need charity organization, but charity organization has been around for hundreds of years. They sometimes do not have the models, the talents, the system to be able to change the world. If the world is going to be changed, we need a 4th key. And the 4th key, you know, comprises of people who are entrepreneurs and investors. If we can put the 4th key into that key hole, I believe we can change the world. And that's the reason why I'm so excited to share with you my journey and some of the lessons I've learned. And I hope to be able to inspire and encourage all of you. The long and short of it is this: you have everything it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is. You have to believe that the greatest poverty is not a poverty of money. The greatest poverty, as I repeat again, is not a poverty of money. The greatest poverty is a poverty of dreams, tenacity, and action. If you dream to be a successful entrepreneur, if you have the tenacity to push on to the end of the road, and you're willing to take massive action, you have every chance to become a successful entrepreneur. But before I begin, the first question I want to ask you is this: why do you want to be an entrepreneur? If you know the why, you will be able to find out the how, because ultimately it is your purpose that will shape and influence your performance, your pursuits, as well as your progress. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Many people say, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to achieve financial freedom. But for what? Why do you want to have all the money in the world? And to me, financial freedom is just one of the 4 major freedoms, you know, that we all should have to achieve what I call true freedom or purposeful freedom. What's the point of having money when you cannot do something purposeful with your money? What's the point of having time when you cannot do something meaningful with your time? What's the point of having a life when you cannot make a positive impact on the people and the environment around you? And to me, there's an overarching freedom, and it's called contribution freedom. When you are a successful entrepreneur, when you become a successful investor, you have the means to be able to give the best of life to yourself and to your loved ones. You can do whatever you want to do, achieve whatever you want to achieve, enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. But more importantly, you will be in a much, much better position to help the poor, the needy, and the disadvantaged. You can make this world a better place to live in. So I would like to share with you my journey of how I started my own business from greenfield up, how I took my company public, and some of the lessons that I've learned, on this journey. And hopefully this will give you some enlightenment on how you can start, you can manage, you can grow your own business. The first company, that my team, my partners, and I took public is a company called Gartner. I will never forget, many years ago, we were in Africa and we had a tent and we were meeting together as partners and colleagues. Now, Gartner had a very, very simple idea. At that point in time, and until today, people were interested in what's going to happen in the future. There was this big term called scenario planning. So we started this business with a simple idea to bring in some of the best people to do research and then share with people what we think the future is going to be like and help them to navigate, into the future basically. And I remember during that meeting underneath the tents, my managing partner, Mr. Fernandez, told us, and he gave us a very interesting challenge. He said, one day we are going to be a publicly listed company. Now, at that point in time, we were still a very, very small company. It was very hard to believe that one day we will become a public listed company. And he also said something very interesting. He said, not only are we going to be a public listed company, we are going to be a $1 billion company. Now, among some of us, we were sniggering because we don't even know $1 billion has how many zeros. But long story short, we finally took the company public and eventually the company became a $1 billion company. Today, the net worth of the company is about $11.6 billion company. Now, why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because every one of you out there, you have an idea that's birthing in your heart, or some of you have carried out the idea. Now, entrepreneurship is not about finding the best idea. It is about how to take the idea and continue to improve on the idea so that your simple idea can be the best idea in your targeted market. And even if it is not the best market, if you keep improving the idea, one day it will be better than most other ideas in the marketplace. You see, my friend, the strongest competitive advantage is an ever improving model. And learning is the only true competitive advantage in a new economy. Every entrepreneur should know how to list, run, and grow a publicly listed company. It doesn't matter whether if you want to do it, whether you dream of doing it, run your company from day one as if it is a public listed company. Why? Because, there are many stakeholders that will ensure that publicly listed company are run, at one of the highest standards of qualities and standards. And so when you run your company as if it is a public listed company, you're telling yourself, I want to run my company at the highest possible level of quality and standard. Another thing that I realized was, even though Gartner had a very simple idea, but what was good about us is that we hire not just the best people, we hire the right people to do the right job, and we make sure that they work rightly as a team. To me, the people in your organization make your organization work. The people in your business make your business work. Let me share with you something very interesting that we do, as I was sharing with the facilitator just now before we started this webinar. Every week we will have at least once lunch session where all of us will gather together, and then we have different people to share their latest thought, their latest innovation, their latest initiative. And then everybody will be welcome to challenge, to criticize, and even condemn the idea, the innovation, and initiative. And by being brutally honest with each other, and by being able to accept we do it all out of good intention, with good motives to achieve good ends, we've formulated and strengthened our team. And more importantly, we were able to fine-tune our thought processes and continue to improve our business model until we became a truly global company. I want to share with you about a company that we started many years ago during the dot-com boom. we wanted to start the first online multimedia company for learning purposes. And we grew the company, and eventually, we lost a lot of money. I remember there was one occasion when I was in a swimming pool trying to drown my sorrow, and I was standing at the side of the pool, and there was a young man who was standing beside me. And he asked me about my business, and I shared with him what we were trying to do. And he was very, very excited. Eventually, I found out that he was one of the top guys that ran one of the biggest investment houses in the world. And after we changed up, I showed him the product, gave him a demonstration. He was very, very excited. He actually told me he was prepared to invest in our company, to turn our company around, to grow our company because he believed in our business model. Sadly, at that point in time, I was still living in the old world. And in the old world, we try to use our own money to make money. Now, it is perfectly okay to invest in your own money, put skin in your game. But finally, in the real world, you need to be able to know how to raise capital to grow the business. And one of the worst things I've ever done in my life was to say no to him, because if I've said yes to him, that company would have been a huge and much greater company. Because when we went for technological competition, Deloitte and Touche, one of the big four auditing firm, actually ranked us as the number 7th fastest growing company. And we were growing faster than some other companies that were started during that point in time. I'm sure you heard of Tata. They went into IT business. You heard of Alibaba and many other companies like this. And so I have learned some important lesson, especially in 2008, we managed to turn our company around. During that year, we were making 16 million US dollar per year. And we were supposed to list the company on NASDAQ. And our bankers valued the company at 380 million US dollars. And the company was supposed to be listed in October 2008. I'm sure all of you remember what happened on 15th of September 2008 when Lehman Brothers crashed, and that started what is known today as the global economic crisis. And that crashed all our dreams, basically. So the lesson that I learned out of this, very major failure is that most money that you and I can make as entrepreneur is not just in the business world. It's by tapping on the capital market, leveraging on the capital market, and growing and globalizing our businesses by tapping and leveraging on the capital market. In the past, you can grow the business and build up your own capital. But today, if you want to grow your business, you need to learn how to raise capital. Every one of us must know how to put together an elevator pitch, must know how to put together a pitch deck, must be able to present to investors and potential investors and continue to raise capital and then leverage on capital to grow our business. And the most tragic words are just 4 very simple words. If only I have. If only I have done this. If only I have not done that. If only I have improved. If only I have disciplined myself. If only I have learned. Whatever you need to do as an entrepreneur, as a potential entrepreneur, and if it's the right thing to do, do it right now. Do it straight away. Do it immediately. Don't wait. We waited, and there goes the 380 million US dollar dream. Because if we had done it earlier and not delayed and waited until the very last minute, today, we will be running a multi-billion dollar empire. Who knows? The second company we listed is a company called Success Resources. And it started because my friend and I wanted to change the world. And we had a very simple idea. We say, what if we bring world-class gurus, world-class experts, world-class specialists, and bring them to ordinary person on the street? And by helping them to cultivate, the best of knowledge, the best of skill set, they will be able to improve the performance. They will be able to improve the productivity. We can change their companies. We can change their organization. We can change their community. We can change their countries. We can change the world. The only problem that we have is this. How do we bring world-class speakers who charge a lot of money and then bring them to ordinary person on the street when they cannot afford to pay high fees? So my partner and I came out with this idea that we will book the biggest possible hall that can cater to as many people as possible to listen to these world-class gurus. I think we were among the first few companies, if not the first and only company up to today. They have booked indoor stadium, football stadium, all kinds of convention halls, all kinds of sports stadiums and all that to run training program. And our dream was that we want to change lives globally. In fact, our battle cry continues today, and it's called Changing Lives Globally. And eventually, because we have this very simple idea, very easily duplicatable idea, we were able to turn it into a cookie cutter system, and we were able to globalize the business. And eventually we listed the company. And after we listed the company, it gives us a lot more bandwidth to be able to acquire even more companies. And as a result, we became arguably the largest personal development seminar company in the world. And the lessons I've learned is this: whatever business that you're in, it is your mission that drives your goal. What is the purposeful, electrifying, significant, and appealing mission? The why you exist. Because when you are able to communicate and challenge your people with this electrifying mission, they will be able to rise up and commit themselves to your cause. Learn how to scale your business from the start. Learn how to start your business locally, but think about how you can scale globally. And the next lesson that we learn is this: if you don't have strong financial backing, you don't have strong investors who are willing to support you financially, learn how to be a public listed company. Because with a public listed platform, it will give you a lot more latitude, a lot more bandwidth, a lot more resources to grow and globalize your business. The last company that I listed is a company called HSR Global, and the company is now has changed its name to Tree Synergy. Basically, I bought over a very simple real estate company. It's a real estate brokerage. It's a mom and pop store type of an industry. There's one in every corner. In those days, there are about 1,600 of them all over our country, and they're all are mainly one-man shop or five-man shop or at most 10-man shop. There are hardly many major firms like this. But I decided that this is where the opportunity is. Sometimes when people turn left, you need to turn right. When they turn right, you need to turn left. You need to take a contrarian approach. As Warren Buffett said, when people are fearful, you better be greedy. When people are greedy, you better be fearful. And that is the way of an entrepreneur, to try to take the unbeaten track, basically. Long story short, we turned it into a mega company, and then we turned it into a company that owns and leases its own building, has more than 20 over training room. We practically changed and transformed the whole industry, transformed the whole way that people in our industry operated. So my learning lesson is this: your business can be changed, and it ought to be changed. And you need to continue to change your business. You need to continue to reimagine your business, redesign your business, and refresh your business. If you know to change your business model and continue to change your business, you will change your business destiny. And an interesting experience I have is this: on the day before we were publicly listed, I remember we were in the room together with my bankers, my lawyers, my accountants, my auditors, and all my other consultants. And we were waiting for that fateful moment when the stock exchange will call us up to say they have given the approval. They were having a meeting, to give the final approval. And then we received a call, and they told us they cannot make a decision. We have to go home, and they will let us know the next day or two. And that night, I couldn't sleep. I had a soul-searching moment and asked myself, why was there a delay? Did they discover something wrong with the company? Have I done something wrong? Now, I'm very proud to say that, when we first started the company, we decided we'll run it like a public listed company. We want to put in all the highest standards of governance. In fact, the 4 questions we ask ourselves all the time is this: whatever we do, we ask ourselves, is it legal? Is it ethical? Is it good for our branding? Is it the right thing to do? Because To me, a company that is well run, a company with good corporate governance is a bulletproof company. Long story short, the next day, the stock exchange called us up and say they have actually decided to give us the approval, but they thought they would let us know the very next morning. And unfortunately, even though I handed over company and ensure a smooth transition, that company eventually got into some legal problem. And that legal problem sucked up a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of money. So learn to build a company with strong corporate governance. Another interesting thing is this. When we went through some major hiccups, we asked ourselves, what sort of company do we want to build? What sort of company that will attract people to join us? What sort of company that people, when they join us, will be proud of the company, will be happy working in a company, and we can contribute to their well-being? And by some divine appointment, we discovered this powerful force called love. Love is the most powerful force in life and in work. And yet, we barely scratch the surface to tap on this very powerful force. We don't have love. We have never heard of any company that has adopted love in the business model as part of the business operation and part of the human resources management system. And so we decided as a company, we will build a company on love. And that legacy continues until today, in every company that I've started. So as a result of putting love back into our business model and making sure that we not only love our colleagues, we not only love our customers, we also want to love our community, our country, and many countries out there. And eventually, we want to be a catalyst so that through being a catalyst, we can inspire more individuals, more teams, more organizations to go out there and make the world a better place to live in. As a result, we were being interviewed by the local university. They actually wrote a whole case study based on our what we think is a newly pioneered model, a love-based management system. And I want to close by saying this. If you don't love and serve your people, you don't deserve and qualify to be a leader. I repeat again, if you don't love and serve your people, you don't deserve and qualify to be a leader. The more you reach out to bless others, the richer and better your life will become. I hope you've enjoyed my session, a very, very short session. And if you're interested, you can hook me up on my Facebook, become my Facebook friend. And when you become my Facebook friend, this is what I do. I have a personal mission to inspire others to greatness. Every day, I will send you a free lesson. I'll send you a free lesson on how to live a good life, how to be a great leader, how to achieve success, how to be rich and wealthy, how to have a wonderful lifestyle. I have been writing this for many, many years. I'll continue to do that because that to me is one of the best way for me to inspire others, to encourage others, to help others on the entrepreneurial and investment journey. So if you have any questions, you can ask me now. I'm happy and open to take any questions.
All right, thank you, Dr. Patrick. Yes, the Q&A session has begun. Maybe if anyone has questions, you may ask. I've also enabled the function for you to unmute yourself. So if you would like to unmute yourself to ask a question in person, you may do so as well. It's not okay. We have one question from Michelle. Is entrepreneurship a nature or nurture?
That's a very, very good question. All of us are born. So all of us, by way of being born, are entrepreneurs. But more importantly, I believe that all of us can be entrepreneurs. We all can be nurtured to become entrepreneurs. In fact, I like to believe that our Creator has already designed us to be entrepreneurs. And He wants us to look after this wonderful garden called planet Earth. We probably have not done a very, very good job, but that is the mission given to us. We are supposed to look after the birds of the air and fishes of the sea, basically. So I believe entrepreneurship can be nurtured. You can learn, you can be trained, you can be coached, you can be mentored to become a good entrepreneur, basically. And to me, you need to develop what I call cash, K-A-S-H. You need to develop the knowledge of what it means to be an entrepreneur. You must have the right attitude, to want to go out there and solve problem and provide solution. And then S stands for skill sets. So all the necessary skills that you need as an entrepreneur, there are enough books, there are enough audio recordings, there are enough video recording all over the internet that you can download to help you to develop those skill sets. And H stands for the habits, to be able to change your lifestyle so that you can live the life of an entrepreneur. So K for knowledge, A for attitude, S for skills, and H for habits. Hope I've answered your question.
Great. Okay, so from Hui Yi, there's is it difficult to gather everyone to help out with your startup business? How do you gather, like-minded people to go on the journey of a startup with you?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. Even before you start up the business, you should be in a position to network with as many people as possible. Like my good friend Robert Kiyosaki say, your net worth is equivalent to your network. I did not gather the people when I decided a business idea. I actually networked with many people before I even started my own business. I joined a club that used to be known as a swap club. And this is a club where people who are entrepreneurs and investors gather together regularly, and people who are like me, who are not entrepreneur investor at a point in time, join them. And by joining entrepreneurs, investors, I was able to cultivate the knowledge, the attitude, the skills, the habits to become an entrepreneur. Eventually, I dive into the business world, basically. And at the end of the day, it's not just cultivating and building a community. Even before you start a business, it is about the idea that you have. All of us, are waiting for a cause to subscribe to commit ourselves to. And as an entrepreneur, you have to ask yourself, why are you going to business, as I mentioned? If you have a purposeful, electrifying, significant, and appealing mission, you will find enough people out there that will buy into your dream. And when they buy into your dream, they are committed to join you in making this dream happen. And by doing that, you will be able to attract the people, the like-minded people who share the same mission, vision, values as you, to be able to start this, to help you to grow your startup. And the good thing is this, today, because of the pandemic, people are beginning to realize the importance of entrepreneurship. People are beginning to realize how important it is to learn how to start your own business, grow their own business, and globalize your own business. And not only people are beginning to realize the importance of entrepreneurship, we have so many different people, including all the various supporters of the Global Entrepreneurship Week. We have governments today that are very generous in many cases in being able to pump in money to help people to start up. Because at the end of the day, most governments realize this. Most of the employments are actually created and supported by small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. And to me, this is about the best time to start your own business. Why? Because of the pandemic, we are like, everybody is put, on the same starting line. And because of the power of the internet, the power of the cloud, the power of advanced technology, all of us are on equal footing. Nobody have a special advantage, when they start their business and compete with one another. And so if you understand this, then you understand that deep in the heart of many people, they want to start their own business, or they want to buy into a business course, or they want to join a team of people and then see a startup grow, and then become a world beater, basically. And they know that even if the startup fail, it is a valuable experience. It is an experience like nothing else that they can learn from the academia, from their family, from their friends, from the workplace, that will make them a better human, a better leader. And so we are now beginning to see a lot more of such a culture being built, a lot more of such impetus and momentum about people wanting to join a startup, basically. So you have everything it takes to be an entrepreneur. You have everything it takes to attract more and more people to join you in your startup. I hope that has given you some clarity.
Thank you, Dr. Patrick.
Right. So from Zitang, we have COVID has posed a huge challenge to many businesses. BragTalk is one example that withdrew their IPO due to the huge loss in revenue. How do you sustain your business during the pandemic period?
It's a very, very good question. I actually wrote a letter to COVID-19. I wasn't ready for this question, but I love to read this letter that I wrote to Mr. COVID-19. And I hope this letter that I wrote to COVID-19 will inspire you. And the reason why I wrote the letter is because just like most people, when the Prime Minister of Singapore, suggested that all of us will have to stay at home on the 4th of April, and he announced that, 4 days before we were officially asked to stay at home. And at a point in time, we were all totally lost. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who is lost. And we're wondering, what do we do with our business? If we cannot go to office, we cannot meet our customer, we cannot have meetings, how then do we survive? And I'm very, very thankful that, like the earlier questions, I was able to bring in a group of really good people in my company. And because of this group of people, we were able to transform the whole business model. And as a result, we were able to create something that we have never thought possible. And then as a result, we have been able to present our businesses to more people than ever done, when we were running a mainly brick and mortar business. And we are now able to have more customers in more countries that we have ever had. So out of this experience, I wrote this letter to Mr. COVID-19. So I'd like to read this letter to you. Dear COVID-19, you have caused angst, anxiety, and anger in many parts of the world. However, we don't see you as a challenge, but as an opportunity. We cannot change you, but we can improve ourselves to be a better human. We cannot preempt and prevent infection, but we can create and continue to improve on new organizational models and systems to achieve success. We cannot eliminate you and eradicate your problems, but we can develop an able, agile, and adaptable team to respond to the problems and secure a better future. We cannot prevent you from turning our world upside down, but we can certainly transform our world right side up. Strange but true, it took a COVID-19 pandemic to further enlighten us about the potentials and possibilities of the human spirit. You compel us to stay at home, but we have learned to work anywhere and at any time and in any way to achieve results. You gave us shocks and surprises, but we learned to work just in time and just in case whatever happened. You lock us in, but you freed our spirit to reach out to a world of possibilities and opportunities. You tried to divide and destabilize us, but we learned how to collaborate and co-create solutions. You stifled us and slowed us down, but we found ways through digitalization and automation to achieve radical breakthroughs. You cause interruptions and intrusions to our work, but we come up with innovations and initiatives to achieve progress. You endeavored to damage and destroy us, but we persisted and persevered to accelerate and accomplish greater impacts. You made us dwell on our internal world, but we leverage our external world and network with partners to enhance contribution, advantage, and growth. You engross us with issues of safety and survival, but we went beyond that to enhance security and sustainability. You created potholes and pitfalls to try to end our journey, but we found endless platitudes and platforms to help us reach our desired destination. Watch out, COVID-19. We are ready. Whip it on. We will fight on to turn every battle into a victory. I hope my letter to COVID-19 will inspire you that whatever we cannot change, we can change ourselves. We may not be able to change the problem, but we can certainly change the response to the problem. We may not be able to change the situation, but we can rise above the situation. We cannot change our circumstances, but we certainly can find meaning, purpose, and significance in those circumstances that will help us to learn, improve, and achieve better results. Thank you.
All right. Great letter, Dr. Patrick. I'm sure if COVID-19 is a real enemy, physical, person who can respond to you, definitely will be inspired, and it's like, oh wow, no matter how hard I hit you, you won't fall, and you will become stronger.
Yeah, that's right. So, it will take a while for any virus to mutate, but humans can keep changing literally every second of the day.
Yep, totally. Which what makes us unique as humans. So from Fidaus, he shared that he's a student from Singapore Polytechnic, currently doing a full-time study and having business, running a business, a tuition business, and other business such as sneakers, trading, shipment, oil rigs, offshore business. I've taken one step to expand it, and which he's ready. Just don't know if it's a good time to expand it at this time, or should we wait till next year, during phase 3 period. I'm not sure if he continue to study or fully grow his business, as he's fully confident that that it will be good.
At the end of the day, you have to make your own decision. But I always say, think of the 5 P's that will be able to help you to make a better informed judgment. First of all, what's your purpose in life? Secondly, what's your personality? You must do something that fits your personality. Thirdly, passion. What do you love to do? Fourthly, performance. What can you do very, very well? And then fifthly, priority. What's important for you to do? For example, to me, if I'm a student, my priority should always be to complete my studies. And don't believe anybody who tell you that studies are not important. There are people who didn't complete their studies, they have become successful entrepreneur. Those are the outliers. I think the people who have completed their studies give themselves a lot more resources, a lot more capacity and capability to grow their business basically. So you want to first of all consider, should you complete your study, especially during this period of time where businesses are facing a storm ahead of them or in the middle of a storm at this point in time. Sometimes when you start a business and you run a business, sometimes timing is very, very important. If you start a business right now, you are facing literally a tsunami. Yes, there will always be a silver lining in every dark cloud. Yes, everybody will be worried. Everybody will be tightening their belt. Probably you will be able to run against the grain of thing, and because you went against whatever we choose to do, you probably can rise up higher and stay ahead of the crowd basically. But at the end of the day, do you have the means to be able to face the tsunami, face the storm basically? Or do you want to wait when the storm is a little bit more subsided, when things are a bit clearer? At least we know that there is a cure for COVID-19. At least, there's a possibility that things will become calmer and more predictable, more certain to be able to start your own business basically. So I hope I've given you some input to be able to make that better informed decision. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. Just any other questions from the participants? No questions. I'll have just one question. So we're going to have a session on a Sunday that is from a corporate to startup. So just want to ask you, right, any qualities you learned from the corporate experience that you had that was beneficial for your own startup journey when you're IPOing your company? Is there certain key learnings from that corporate experience that helped you in your own company IPO subsequently?
Definitely. There are a few key lessons that I learned. Number one is the word exemplify. When you run a corporation, you have more people looking at you, more people that want to know whether you walk your talk and whether you live by what you preach. And so you need to, as an entrepreneur, you need to show the way. So the first lesson I learned in the corporate way is exemplify. The second lesson that I learned is envision. All the biggest companies in the world, they all became big because they have a major vision that challenge their colleagues, their customers, and the community to support them to grow the business basically. The third thing that I learned is enroll. That means if you really want to build a great company, you must enroll the right people to do the right job at the right time and to work together well as the right team. And then the fourth lesson that I learned is educate your people. Your job is not only to bring the best people, but to bring out the best from them and continue to help them to learn, unlearn, and relearn whatever skill sets, whatever knowledge base that they have. The next lesson I learned is encourage. All humans have their own fears, their own desires, their own dreams and aspiration. And your job as a leader, whether in the corporate world or being an entrepreneur, entrepreneur, a leader of your own startup, your job is to make sure you understand every human, understand what will drive them, what will motivate them, what will help them to find the journey with you a meaningful, exciting, and fulfilling one. The next thing that I learned is empower. How do you empower your people so that they can operate independently as well as interdependently together as a team? And how, very importantly, they can run the business and grow the business even if you're not there. So the challenge with many entrepreneurs is that they work in the business and not on the business. In other words, if they don't go to work, the business will never grow, will never do well. If they are away from business, the business will stifle, the business will stop. And to me, this is very, very sad. A good entrepreneur must be able to create the system so that the system will be able to help the business to continue to grow and globalize despite, the founders not being there, basically. And then the last thing that I learned in the corporate world is excel. How do you continue to excel? How do you continue to improve? How do you continue to get better results? Because in today's world, if you're not constantly reimagining what your future is going to be like, you're not constantly redesigning your business model, re-engineering all your business operation, reinvigorating your team, and refreshing your whole organization, you will not be able to survive. So in summary, the lessons that I learned how to exemplify, how to envision, how to enroll, how to be able to educate, encourage, as well as empower and help the organization to excel. So these are the 7 key lessons I've learned in my journey working in the corporate world.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Patrick. I believe anyone who is graduating or currently changing on different industries in the corporate world will definitely be inspired, and these lessons could help them embark on their entrepreneur journey or at least shorten the learning curve. So before we end off session, maybe we could invite all participants to turn on your cameras, and then we can do a group like photo together. All right. Great. Thank you. Okay. I'll just take a screenshot. All right. 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right. Thank you for those that stay on till the end. Just before we go off, we'd like to also thank Dr. Patrick for your time. I think this sharing are all very valuable. We couldn't have the years of experience, especially for a young person to have not even graduated from school, going out to the corporate world, or even deciding to start a business, right? And if you're still interested in any other Global Entrepreneurship Week activities or events, we have one more upcoming on Sunday by Miss Lim Fen Ru. She's the founder of Turtle Tree Labs. She's the ex-Googler that turned startup founder. She's enabling the future of clean milk tech, right? It's happening on Sunday, 22nd of November from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Singapore time. And interesting story is she's the first Singaporean Singapore company that won the world's largest entrepreneurship competition, which is the Entrepreneurship World Cup. They walk away with $500,000 US dollars in cash, as well as they're also the company who won the Singapore's Temasek Livability Challenge. There was a million Singapore dollars as well. So I guess the key thing that Turtle Tree Lab is doing is she's creating milk from cell-based technology. So it's really innovative. I'll say story that she will share, and how her entrepreneur journey started as young as when she was still in school in Singapore, right? So thank you everyone for your time, and if you are interested to attend any of the events, feel free to reach out. We do have events not just in Singapore, but Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the rest of ASEAN countries. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Patrick Liu. Thank you for those who stay on till the end. Thank you. All right. See you. Thank you.